successful business persons, politicians. He's even been felicitated by the Prime Minister of India, नरेंद्र मोदी जी. एंड आज हमारा हर ट्यूसडे को ये हमारा सौभाग्य होता है कि साकेत जी हमारे साथ लाइव होते हैं और हमसे बातें करते हैं. एंड जिन्होंने पहले साकेत जी का शो सुना है, वेरी वेरी एजुकेशनल, वेरी इंफॉर्मेटिव होता है. काफी सारी जानकारी देते हैं वो हमें प्लैनेट्स और ग्रहों के बारे में. एंड विदाउट मच अडू, लेट्स वेलकम डॉक्टर साकेत भाटिया ऑन द शो. Good afternoon, Dr. Saket. Welcome to Radio Zindagi Astrology Show with Dr. Saket Bhatia.
Hi, Huma. How are you?
I am good. Thank you so much.
It's good to be back. Every Tuesday, we discuss different topics in astrology. We talk about how astrology can help you improve your life. Astrology क्यों important है? Why you should go to an astrologer? What questions you should ask? देखिए, काफी लोग आते हैं और पूछते हैं, when will I get a job? I think the right question is, what kind of job should I do? Or should I, instead of saying, हमारी शादी कब होगी? The right question will be, हमारी शादी कैसे निभेगी? How will it work out for us? Will we be happy? Will we not be happy? What can we expect? So I think these questions are more important in astrology. So आज की जो topic है, we are going to talk about predictions in astrology. Something different.
Exactly, yes, predictions in astrology. और हमने जब बात की थी ऑफ एयर, तो साकेत जी बता रहे थे that how prediction plays such an important role in astrology. वैसे हम बात तो कर रहे हैं, लेकिन साथ साथ में I'd like to hand out the number to call Dr. Saket in the studios. अगर आपने कोई कोई सवाल करना है related to your career, to your health, to your marriage, जो भी चीज है, जो भी सवाल है 732-668-3726. that is 732-668-3726. ये नंबर है स्टूडियो में फोन करने के लिए. एंड वैसे ज्यादा इंफॉर्मेशन के लिए you can always visit www.saketbhatia.com. and उनका ऑफिस नंबर है 408-639-5300. that number once again 408-639-5300. and yes, Dr. Saket, the predictions के बारे में हम बात कर रहे थे, right?
So मैं क्या कह रहा हूँ कि when you go to an astrologer, there really is a threefold process. One, the astrologer has to read your chart, correct? Two, he has to analyze it and he has to explain it to you. ये दूसरा part हुआ. The third important part is prediction. Without prediction, it would be meaningless to go to an astrologer. Do you agree?
That is true, yes.
If an astrologer cannot tell you what will happen to you tomorrow, day after, next year, life कैसे चलेगी, then you might as well just live your life your way. जैसे चल रहा है वैसे चलने दो, because you're not going to get the meaningful guidance you need. Think of it, आप गाड़ी में बैठे हो and you say, I want to go from New York to Florida. And your GPS has to tell you, right? You have to take so-and-so freeway, itna traffic aayega, you're going to have so much obstacles, toll itna lagega. Now, if your GPS doesn't tell you any of that and says, okay, you're here, this is the weather in Florida, you don't really need it. So navigating through life's ups and downs, navigating through life's obstacles is what astrology does, and that's what prediction is supposed to do. So take prediction very seriously. It is very tricky. It is not easy. There are many, many rules and predictions that go with astrology. So what we will do today is, हम बात करेंगे why prediction is important, predict कैसे करते हैं, and how it impacts you in general. Okay?
And even before you start, Dr. Saket, does prediction and planning, are these two kind of related? Do they go hand in hand?
Prediction and planning are related. So we predict and we tell you, you're going to start your own business 3 years from today. Your business should be in, let's say, food service industry. Now you can start planning today and say, 3 saal baad I'm going to start my business. How will I start it? What will I do? What in the food industry knowledge do I have? So if you know कि क्या आने वाला है, you can definitely plan for it in advance. On the other hand,
Mm-hmm.
if we don't predict, then you're going to be stuck where you are. वो जो opportunity वो आएगी और चली जाएगी, and you're probably going to have some regret in life that says, I wish I had done it that time. I would have done so much
Yes.
better. So remember,
Hmm.
without the astrologer, you will have no prediction. You will have no guidance. You will have no planning. That does not mean you cannot do anything. You can still do things. आप रोज काम कर रहे हो. You're doing stuff.
Right.
But if you're not getting that satisfaction, then you might as well look back and say why. Astrology can help you, and how it can help, we're going to explain. So again, today's topic is primarily prediction in astrology. Prediction is the chief objective of astrology. Okay? Remember that.
All right. So prediction is the chief objective in astrology. इस पर आज डॉक्टर साकेत भाटिया हमारे साथ डिस्कस करेंगे, हमें knowledge देंगे इसके बारे में. And even before we start the talking in details, studio का number hand out करना चाहती हूँ मैं, 732-668-3726. That is 732-668-3726. And yes, Dr. Saket, let's talk about predictions.
So if people want, they can also reach our office directly. You can give that
Mhm.
number out, or you can give that website out. So
Yes, the office number is 408-639-5300. That's 408-639-5300. Website है www.saketbhatia.com.
Sure. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to discuss the three important components, जो elements होते हैं predictive astrology के. Okay.
जी.
What are those three things that are important? So in order to make a prediction about your life, to see what is coming your way, how life is going to impact you, how you can get the most benefit of your life, हमें तीन चीजें देखनी है. First, योग. Yog means the combination of the planets. That is important. Second, we have to understand the dasha. And third, we have to understand transits. All three of these are critically important. I'll explain you why. Yog is the formation of things in your chart. When we read your chart, let's say you come and say, I am married for 5 years, 10 years, but हमारा बच्चा नहीं है. The very first thing we have to do is see the yog. We have to see the planet. Is the planet supporting the child? If that particular planet is not supporting the child, doesn't matter what happens, you will not have a child. Okay. On the other hand, if the planets are supporting a child, then you will have a child during the period or dasha. And the best chance of having a child would be during the transit of that planet. So remember, a period cannot bless you. जो planet की जो दशा होती है ना, period dasha, dasha cannot bless you with a child if you don't have santan yoga in your horoscope. Dasha could be of fifth lord, dasha could be of the karak planet, but अगर planet itself weak है, नहीं हो सकता. Same way, जो transit होती है, they can come and they can go, but if they are not supported by the planet lord, no matter what you do, you won't get it. So many people come to our office. बहुत ज़्यादा आते हैं, कहते हैं हमें जॉब में प्रोग्रेस चाहिए, वी वांट सम मैनेजमेंट रोल, वी वांट टू टेक लीडरशिप रोल. वेरी फर्स्ट थिंग इज हम 10th हाउस के लॉर्ड प्लैनेट्स और मर्क्यूरी जुपिटर देखते हैं. इफ दीज आर स्ट्रांग, वी नो yes you can get a promotion when you have the dasha of those planets, or when you have the transit of the appropriate house. Many people also come and say हमें जॉब में प्रोग्रेस चाहिए, और हम कह देते हैं don't do it, go start your own business. Sometimes it is better for you to start your business. Like people, right, who have started their business. You must know people.
Right.
So
Definitely.
it gives them people don't start business because उन्हें independence चाहिए. It's not because they want to be their own boss. They want to start their business because they want to achieve that level of respect and that level of creativity which has been eluding them for years. So for all the listeners here, if you have that drive, you have that passion in you, and you're just not able to get there, Ask yourself that question कि हम वहां क्यों नहीं पहुंच रहे? What is stopping me from getting there? If your astrology chart says yes, you can, then for God's sakes, do it. Start it. The level of success will also be dependent on your chart. What success do you want? Happiness, fulfillment, money, gains? क्या चाहिए आपको decide कीजिए. And based on that, astrology can guide you with the right timing, when you should start, what you should do, and how fast you should do it.
Yes,
Okay.
and at this point, I would like to hand out the studio number. Dr. Saket Bhatia can answer your questions, चाहे वो prediction के बारे में हो या फिर, just something about your chart and your graph placement. The number to call Dr. Saket Bhatia right now until 4 p.m. is 732-668-3726, 732-668-3726 नंबर है जहां पर आप डॉक्टर साकेत से बात कर सकते हो. वैसे अगर आपको फुल रीडिंग चाहिए तो यू कैन ऑलवेज कॉन्टैक्ट हिज ऑफिसेज एट 408-639-5300. someone's trying to call in the studio. मैं अभी फिर से बता दूं that आपने अगर फोन करना है, नंबर है 732-668-3726. Let me see if I can speak to them. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Do I speak to Suni Ali?
Okay, so Dr. Saket को अगर आपको रीच करना है फिलहाल, नंबर है 732-668-3726. And Dr. Saket, हम बात करें predictions के. What are the three important components of predictive astrology?
So that's just what I explained. The three most important are the dasha, the planet जो योग बनाता है, and the transit of the planet. See, lots of these are not written in the old rules. These are
Right.
experience also of the astrologer. जो old rules हैं astrology के, they very loosely place these rules. But over time, you have to realize जो experience होता है, जो reading होती है, based on that, you are able to correctly predict what people have to do. I can give you hundreds of examples in this show, hundreds of examples where people have come to me and said things like, I really want to start my business. And we have told them, don't do it. Very classic example is a person who came 11 years ago. I want to start my company. I am not happy. And we said, your chart doesn't show you will start a company, but it shows tremendous growth if you continue working where you are. Now, this is contradictory to what astrologers usually say. But hua kya? Hua ye ki he went ahead. He stuck in the company. He became the CEO. The company's gone public. They're worth billions of dollars. He's made over $100 million. He's happy. So timing is important. If that person 11 saal pehle would have quit and said, I don't want to work here anymore, I want to start my own company, life alag course le lete. It would not have worked out for him. So remember, you are where you are because of the choices you've made, because of the decisions you have made. So make your decision wisely. If your chart shows you can do better sticking with what you are, just putting little more effort and time and energy, then do it right. But do the right thing is all I'm trying to say. Go, we can guide you, we can help you. You'll be very surprised with how far you go in life with the right astrologer and the right prediction. So
Right prediction. Exactly.
So ये तो था prediction का. Now remember one thing. Planets, you understand dasha, right? Dasha means जो planet है वो awake हो जाता है. I'm not saying a planet is sleeping, but the planet starts getting more active in your chart during the dasha.
I was just about to say, when you say awake, does it mean active? And before आप dasha के बारे में बताएं, and also I think you're going to explain about the immortal soul, right?
I would like to talk about the immortal soul for sure.
ठीक है. तो before you do that, मैं फिर से एक बार स्टूडियो का नंबर हैंड आउट करना चाहती हूँ. 732-668-3726, 732-668-3726. डॉक्टर साकित अभी यहाँ पर हमारे साथ 4 बजे तक बने हुए हैं, and he's talking about predictions today. and why is predictions important in astrology?
Okay, so let's assume there is some dasha. Dasha it's like a stage. You have all these actors standing on stage, but you focus on those actors who are speaking. Same way,
Ji.
astrology may all those planets are like the actors on the stage. The stage is your life. The planets who are speaking will become the most dominant part. That is jab unki dasha aati hai. When the dasha of a planet comes, everything that planet represents will come into focus. Wherever it sits comes into focus. The houses it owns will come into focus. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're a Scorpio ascendant
Hmm.
and you're running Mercury dasha. Mercury for a Scorpio ascendant will own the 8th house and the 11th house. 8th house is house of inheritance. 11th house is house of gains. So we know you're going to gain money through inheritance. We know you're going to get money through other people's money. Now, if that Mercury is sitting in the 2nd house, we will tell you, use that inheritance money to grow a business in the field of communication, speech. That will help you become a public speaker. Those are
Hmm.
ways you can predict in astrology what you need to do. So dasha is important. Now, what is transit? You were born in a country, let's say we're born in India,
Mhm.
but today you're living in America and the
Right.
planets have moved. So where is that planet that jo jiski dasha chal rahi hai, where is it today? Is it on your house of career? Is it on your house of family? Is it on your house of wealth? Is it on your house of children? So jahan wo planet jata hai, he is going to impact that dasha positively or negatively by increasing or decreasing the effect.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, that is very interesting. क्योंकि जब आप कह रहे हो कि planet वो जो move होता है तो उस वजह से you leave the country of your birth and then you move and then
Yes.
it can still keep moving is quite interesting.
It always moves. And if you have Jupiter, which is a benefic planet, acha planet hai, he is sitting on your
Right.
house of career, we'll tell you, go ask your boss for a raise. This
Hmm.
is if you want to start, and it's coincidence. Agar Jupiter is on your career house and Mercury dasha chal rahi, will say, go all out, start a business. Now, what business you have to do will depend on the placement. So all these are very important. Remember, we have to make sure that we give you the right analysis, the right decision, and the right things. This is what prediction is about, okay?
Right. And 732-668. 3726 732-668 3726. If you have a question, you want to ask Dr. Saket about anything with your chart or someone else's, a loved one's chart, 732-668 3726 is the number जहां पर आप फोन कर सकते हो. And Dr. Saket यहाँ पर हमारे साथ 4 बजे तक है. He is live with us on Radio Zindagi, and whatever your question is, phone karen aur unse puche. And as we guys know that Dr. Saket is very, very helpful and a very बड़ी इंफॉर्मेशन देते हैं वो. जब भी किसी का सवाल का जवाब भी देते हैं बड़े डिटेल में देते हैं. So yes, feel free, फोन करें 732-668 3726 पर.
So you said just before we started this conversation कि आप soul के बारे में बात करना चाहते हैं, right?
Yes, the immortal soul, yeah.
Yeah. So let's understand why soul is immortal. So soul is immortal because it never dies.
Right.
So what does the soul do? The soul goes from one body to another body. फिर birth होता है, फिर death होती है. फिर soul goes on yet into another body. ये जो life and death का cycle है, this is endless. So what does it do to the soul? The soul is very active, right? But once it comes into a body, it becomes inactive. The soul is actually independent. But when it comes into a body, it gets dependent. The soul has no emotions. But when it comes into a body, it suddenly has pain, suffering, happiness. So see what has happened to the soul. It has gone from being active to inactive, right? It has gone from being independent to dependent, and it has gone from having no emotions to basically having lots of emotions, and from being something we can't identify to a body we can actually see. So this is what I'm trying to say. जो immortal soul है, आपने पिछले जन्म में जो कर्म किए हैं, या this birth, what karms you will do will impact your body. They will impact your soul. They are
Mhm.
responsible for having the yogs and planetary placement in your chart. जब विमशोत्री दशा है, when the dasha system comes, this is when all those planets come into play. This is when things happen in your life. So the soul is stuck in your body, and it has to go through the cycle based on the deeds you did in the past life. So accept what is happening to you in life. Accept it. ये है हमारी life में, and learn to move on with it. Don't try fighting your destiny. You cannot win. What you can do, however, is accept your fate, accept your destiny, and then make some adapting changes to it so you can get the most out of where you are. Not everybody can be a scientist. Not everybody can be happily married. Not everybody can make lots of money. Not everybody can travel the world. But everybody can learn to be happy. अगर आप happy रहोगे, you'll be healthy. If you're healthy, you're going to make a difference to yourself and those people around you.
This is such a basic thing, लेकिन कितनी important है, और जितना ये simple sound करती हैं वो है नहीं. To be happy, it takes a lot, right? And before we move on, मैं एक छोटा सा introduction फिर से दे दूँ about Dr. Saket Bhatia. He has a PhD in astrology, over 25 years of experience in astrology. He's also a certified numerologist. एंड 25 साल से एक्सपीरियंस है इनके पास, और 12,000 से भी ज्यादा सेटिस्फाइड क्लाइंट्स हैं जो there could be there could be celebrities, there could be politicians, business people. बहुत से ऐसे लोगों को डॉक्टर साकित ने प्रेडिक्शंस दिए हैं, इनकी रीडिंग्स की हैं. सो यस, हमारा सौभाग्य है कि हर ट्यूसडे के दिन 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock डॉक्टर साकित यहाँ पर स्टूडियो में होते हैं. स्टूडियो का नंबर है 732-668-3726. That is 732-668-3726. Alternatively, अगर आपको एक full reading चाहिए तो definitely contact करें उनकी offices. ऑफिस का नंबर है 408-639-5300. That is 408-639-5300. वेबसाइट है इनका www.saketbhatia.com. अगर आपने अभी अभी ट्यून इन किया है, आज बात हो रही है प्रेडिक्शंस के बारे में, द टाइप्स ऑफ प्रेडिक्शंस एंड why are predictions so important in astrology. एंड अब तक हमने 3 इंपॉर्टेंट कंपोनेंट्स की बात कर ली है अबाउट प्रेडिक्टिव एस्ट्रोलॉजी. हमने सोल के बारे में और उसकी इमॉर्टैलिटी के बारे में बात कर ली है, एंड अब हम चलेंगे दशा सिस्टम पर. और have we covered that already completely?
No, we are going to talk briefly about the dasha system.
जी.
Dasha system, देखिए, there are many types of dasha system. There are actually 40 different types of dasha systems. But the one we give most important to is called the Vimshotri dasha system in astrology. Okay. सबसे popular dasha है Vimshotri dasha. In Vimshotri dasha, there is a major dasha followed by a minor dasha, followed by a sub dasha and antar dasha. So you could be running, for example, you could be running sun dasha. That means sun is the dominant planet. But uske andar you have all the other planets that will have their own dasha. So one dasha, second dasha, and the dasha cycle starts, right? So what I'm trying to tell you is the Vimshotri dasha sequence hoti hai. There is a set sequence of what will happen when. It is assumed that the human body is going to last 120 years. That's why the Vimshotri dasha is built on 120 years. Okay. जहां आप पैदा होते हो, wherever your moon is placed, that is where, in that nakshatra, that is where your Vimshotri dasha starts. Okay. So when I was born, moon was placed in the constellation nakshatra of Mercury. So Mercury dasha started for me. But the general sequence is you will always have sun, which is 6-year dasha, followed by 10-year dasha of moon, followed by 7 years
followed
of
by 7
Mars,
years of Mars,
followed by
followed
18
by
years of
18
Rahu,
years of Rahu,
followed by
followed
16
by
years of
16
Jupiter,
years of Jupiter,
followed by 19 years of Saturn, 17 years of
17 years
Mercury,
of Mercury,
7 years of
7
Ketu, and 20 years of Venus. Now, in all of this, there are few things that are important. First, जिस planet की दशा चल रही है, where is that planet placed? Is he placed in a good house, bad house? Is he strong or is he weak? If the planet is strong, he'll give good results. If the planet is weak, he will give weak results. If the planet in general is a good planet and he's strong, you will get very good results in that dasha. On the other hand, if the planet is a bad planet like Saturn and he's very weak in your chart, he'll give you bad results. Bad results could mean death in family, it could mean loss of money, it could mean loss of career, loss of fame, loss of reputation. So ये जो दशा होती है, ये cycle है. Understand that this cycle dominates your life. It dominates how things will move for you, how things will happen, in what order they will happen. All right. So again, focus on the planets. When the planets are active, when these planets are awake, how these planets are going to do. There are many calculations that we can do for these dashas. कि कौन सा planet कितना result देगा, कब देता है. So when you're calling me on the show, it's very hard for us to give you that accurate answer in terms of, will I get promoted and be the CEO of this company? We cannot do that in the show, but we can tell you when you'll get a job. We can tell you what kind of job you should do. So there are again two aspects, right? There is, which I'm going to discuss later, quantity and quality in astrology. वो बाद में बात करते हैं. But dasha, you understood, right? On a stage, when you have these different people, they're talking. Some people talk for 2 minutes, some talk for 5. Same way, जो Vimshotri dasha है, those planets get active for years. अभी अमिताभ बच्चन is such a popular actor. What happened to him? He suffered for almost 18 years. He had no job, he had no career. उनकी दशा आ गई थी गलत. राहु की दशा आ गई थी. He suffered. उसके बाद 16 years Jupiter dasha, going like crazy. 19 years Mercury Saturn dasha, even better. 17 years Mercury, even better. So you will have ups and downs. If you are struggling in life, you have to figure out kaun si dasha chal rahi hai. How much of that dasha is left and how to lessen the effect of that particular planet by improving the aspect and of the better planets. Okay? Remember that. ये हमें ठीक से करना होता है.
Before I ask the next question, let me hand out the studio number one more time. 732-668-3726 is the number. That is 732-668-3726. Dr. Saket Bhatia हमारे साथ 4 बजे तक यहाँ पर हैं. कुछ 20 odd minutes है हमारे पास. अगर आपके पास कोई सवाल है, ज़रूरी नहीं है ये prediction या predictive astrology से related हो. Maybe you want to ask something about your health, your career, your finances, जो भी है. Feel free to call in on that number 732-668-3726. हम आज बात कर रहे हैं about predictive astrology. And at this point, Dr. Saket, हमने दशा system भी समझ लिया है, लेकिन I think we can move on to the next question, which is the planetary transits.
Yeah. So what is planetary transit? Remember, बहुत लोग इसको बहुत emphasis देते हैं, but that's not the case. We should not give so much emphasis to planetary transits because in a general overall chart reading, transit only accounts for about 33% of the overall reading. There is no benefit of transit if the planets are very strong. So transit means when we are focusing on a particular house, what is the planet that is going over that house? If there is a planet like Sun, Moon, Venus, Mars, or Mercury, we don't even consider those to be good transits or bad transits because they're very fast, right? Sun spends 1 month in a sign. So जहाँ एक महीने में आपको, it can give you some fame, popularity. Moon spends only 2.5 days in a sign. So when he's sitting for 2.5 days, Your emotions are going to be tied to that. And life is so long that 1 month and 2 days doesn't really matter. When we look at transits, we must look at bigger transits. We must look at transits of planets like Jupiter or Saturn. Jupiter वो होता है जो expand करता है. So if you call on the show and say, I want some expansion, my Jupiter career expansion, and we see Saturn placed on your 10th house, we'll say, don't do anything yet. Because Saturn means stability, discipline. Do not even try to get another job. On the other hand, if Jupiter is transiting your 7th house, it's a great time to get married. If Rahu Ketu are on your 7th house, go get married. These planets expand. So understand कि कौन सा planet कहाँ है. Transits, again, they are important, but not as important as we call them. Transit को हम गोचर भी कहते हैं हिंदी में. This is when we have to analyze in greater detail how the impact of the planets is going to be on your chart. It's a secondary source, not to be given too much importance, but yet many astrologers give it importance because they could, they sort of bet their life on it. Yeah.
Yes, and अगर आपने अभी tune in किया है, let me tell you once again that you are actually tuned into the astrology show with Dr. Saket Bhatia. हर Tuesday के दिन होता है यहाँ पर 3 बजे से 4 बजे तक. Dr. Saket Bhatia has a PhD in astrology and 25 साल से भी ज़्यादा का experience है. He's also a certified numerologist. He has over 12,000 satisfied clients, from celebrities to business person to sports people to regular people. A vast variety of all these satisfied clientele that he has been serving for the past 25 years. Dr. Saket Bhatia हर ट्यूसडे के दिन 3 बजे से 4 बजे तक हमारे साथ होते हैं. रेडियो जिंदगी पर लाइव होते हैं, हमारे से बातें करते हैं. कुछ सवाल होते हैं अगर, तो यू कैन ऑलवेज कॉल हिम इन द स्टूडियोज. फिलहाल स्टूडियो में कॉल करने का नंबर है 732-668-3726 732-668-3726. एंड और भी इंफॉर्मेशन आपको डॉक्टर साकेत के बारे में मिल जाएगी उनकी वेबसाइट पर, विच इज www.saketbhatia.com. अगर आपने अभी ट्यून इन किया है, आज बात हो रही है प्रेडिक्शंस एंड एस्ट्रोलॉजी के बारे में, और काफी सारी चीजें हम डिस्कस कर चुके हैं, लेकिन और भी टॉपिक्स रहते हैं. अभी हमने बात कर ली है ऑलरेडी अबाउट द three important components of predictive astrology, chief objective of astrology. And I think there was a phone call coming in. देखते हैं, was it a phone call? I think I missed the phone call. फिर से नंबर दे दूं मैं 732-668-3726. अगर आप फोन करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं 732-668-3726. हमने बात कर ली अबाउट द सोल एंड द इमॉर्टैलिटी ऑफ द सोल. दशा सिस्टम के बारे में भी बात की है डॉक्टर साकेत ने. प्लानेटरी बेनिफिट्स के बारे में बात की है, ट्रांजिट्स के बारे में, सॉरी. एंड अब हम बात करने वाले हैं योगास के बारे में.
तो we'll try to explain योग क्या होते हैं. You've heard this saying, हमारे में राज योग है, धन योग है. तो इसका मतलब एग्जैक्टली क्या है? See,
right.
कुंडली जो बर्थ चार्ट बनती है, that has 12 houses and there are 9 planets. When planets and houses have certain combinations, they form a yoga. By definition, yoga means combination. So good houses in astrology are 1, 4, 7, 10, 5 and 9. If one of the planets that owns these houses sits in the respective house, it forms a Raj Yoga. So अगर 5th house lord 4th में बैठ गया, वो राजयोग बन जाता है. The planet itself is called Yoga Karak planet. Yogs are always dasha dependent, which means they give the results जब दशा आती है. I have heard many people say कि हमें astrologer ने कहा था कि you have Raj Yoga, लेकिन कुछ हो नहीं रहा. I don't have any money. I have the yoke of living overseas, traveling overseas, but I'm not able to migrate. What is going on? We look at
हाँ
the chart and we say, योग तो है, but dasha नहीं आई. So think of a yog as something that will give you. It may give you good, it may give you bad. But when the time is right, it will only give you that time. Not to say there are some dasha independent yogs also. A dasha independent yog is one which will remain with you for life and will always have the results. So if you have Hamsa Yoga, or you have Akhand Samrajya Yoga, or you have Valley Yoga, these are yogs which are caused by good or bad planets sitting in their own house or exaltation, at 1, 4, 7, 5, 9, 10. अगर ऐसी जगह पे आ जाए, then these give you lots of courage, they give you good looks, they give you good speech, they give you good money, they give you good wisdom. These are very common yogs, but at the same time, they're common, but the intensity is important. How much money will they give you? How happy will they make you? तो ये हमें समझना है, ये हमें ठीक से पता करना है कि what is causing this yoga, how up and down you can go in life with these yogas. So yoga, just to let you know, there are over 3,000 types of yogas in astrology. The commonly used yogas are close to about 300. For an astrologer to make predictions, yogas must be known to them. They have to analyze, because again, when we were discussing, we said the planet yoga is important. अगर योग नहीं है तो कुछ नहीं हो सकता. If you have a business yoga, do business. If you have a job yoga, do yoga. If you have a yoga to buy a big house, go buy a big house. So first analyze the yoga, then look at the dasha, then look at the transit. 3,000 yogas no astrologer can remember. Impossible. But most astrologers who are good, they remember at least the top 300. The ones that are more common, the ones that are more influential, the ones that matter to you. Okay.
And Dr. Saket, अभी भी हमारे पास 3 topics रह जाते हैं, and we've got about under 15 minutes. So you think we can cover it and finish predictions today?
Absolutely. I think we'll be able to complete
Okay.
most of it today.
ठीक है. So फिर shall we move on to the next topic, benefic and malefic planets?
We should. We have to understand कि ये क्या होता है exactly.
Just before we do that, एक बार फिर से स्टूडियो का नंबर मैं देना चाहती हूँ, 732-668-3726. That is 732-668-3726. And बात करें अभी benefic and malefic planets के बारे में.
See, yogas are very important because almost every successful person in the world has some yoga or the other. So you are in arts, entertainment, media. If you look at
Right.
people who are in media, whether it is Shah Rukh Khan or Amir Khan or Akshay Khanna or Akshay Kumar, they all have very strong yogas related to Venus, because this is the planet of acting and beauty. On the other hand, if you look at leaders like Obama or Modi, they have their yogas with other planets like Jupiter, which makes them very strong leaders in the world. So बहुत जो important योग है वो पंच महापुरुष योग होता है. It's very strong. It gives you wealth or recognition or fame. Remember, Raj Yoga is also important. But now you've brought another interesting question. आपका question था benefic and malefic planets. ये क्या है?
Right.
So a benefic means good, malefic means bad. Simple way to say, in astrology, a good planet is called a benefic planet. A not so good planet is called a malefic planet. So why do we focus on these? Because agar योग good planet का बन रहा है, then you're going to get good results. लेकिन अगर bad planet का बन रहा है, it's going to take away something. What it will take away depends on what the planet represents. So for example, if you have a dasha going on for Jupiter, right? And Jupiter is very strong in your chart. What can he do? He can give you everything he represents, which is typically money, gains, children, marriage, good amount of luck. This is what Jupiter will do because he's a good planet. Now let's focus on Saturn. What will he do? He can give you disease. He can give you suffering. He can give you loss of reputation. But at the same time, he is going to make you work very hard. वो discipline देता है ना? He also gives you property. So during the dasha of Saturn, People might buy a bigger house, but at the same time, they start working harder. Why? Naya ghar liya, you have to pay it off somehow. You have to pay the mortgage. So they're all
Mhm.
interlinked with each other. Don't ever say कि Saturn की दशा आई है तो bad है. No, अगर Saturn की दशा आई है वो कुछ देखे भी जाएगा, whether it is good or bad. You've heard the saying, some people work themselves to death. They don't have a social life. They don't do anything. They just work, work, work. Why? That is typically the Saturn planet that is making them work. Because Saturn makes you work endlessly. You don't have a goal in sight. That's why it is called a malefic planet. You miss out other things in life. Benefic planet will give you things easily. Malefic planet will give you the same things, but with a lot of struggle, with a lot of disappointment, with a lot of harassment. Okay.
Right.
Remember, what I just described, Jupiter being benefic and Saturn being malefic, are true for the planets, but not true for every kundli. For some charts, Jupiter can actually be a bad planet. If Jupiter is Lord of the sixth, he now controls your liver. So if you drink too much alcohol, liver failure is caused by Jupiter, which is supposed to be a good planet. So समझो कि for your particular chart, Jupiter, which is a good planet, might actually be not so good. It might be malefic. Astrology के बहुत rules होते हैं. Any planet which rules the second house will give the results of the other house. A good planet like Venus, if it owns the seventh house, it won't give you any results. Confusing rules, but these are important. Astrologer must know all these rules in detail. कि कौन सा planet कब अच्छा result देगा, कब बुरा result देगा. ये पता होना चाहिए. It's not as easy as Venus is sitting there in the seventh house, he'll give you good results. No, he won't. If Venus owns seventh or sits in seventh, he will fail to give good results. It doesn't mean he'll give bad results. It just means he will fail to give good results. So, Huma, this is what astrologers need to understand, study, and give right advice to people so they can have a
Right.
more meaningful, more fulfilling, and a happier life.
एंड अगर हमने ये टॉपिक बेनिफिक और मेलिफिक का पूरी तरह से कवर कर दिया तो आई थिंक वी कैन मूव ऑन टू quantitative and qualitative results in astrology. And let me check one more time. I think हमारे पास कुछ वक्त रहता है कि हम एक लास्ट क्वेश्चन भी एड्रेस कर सकते हैं इसके बाद. Just about 8 more minutes. So let's talk about this, Dr. Saket.
We are talking prediction today, right?
Right, predictions के बारे में and how important predictions are in astrology.
Prediction में two important aspects are quality and quantity. What I mean
Right.
is quality means अच्छा होगा या बुरा होगा.
हाँ,
And quantity कितना अच्छा होगा और कितना बुरा होगा. Does that make
बुरा
sense?
होगा. Yes, does
Without
make
these
sense.
two things, predictions, the explanation or the interpretation of prediction would be meaningless. So let's try understanding. What do we mean by quantity? How much can you gain? Many people come and say, I want to invest in the stock market. I look at the chart, it takes me time. I tell them, sure, go ahead, invest. They're very happy. That is quality. Invest, you'll make money. But uski quantity kitna hai? Are you going to make $5, 5,000, 50,000, 5 million, 500 million? That depends on the quantity, right? And quantity will be dependent on the yoga, the transit, and the benefic nature of the planet. Now assume सब कुछ आपके लिए अच्छा है. दशा अच्छी है, planet is positive, benefic planet है, transit में अच्छा है, योग बन रहा है. Nothing can stop you. You're going to do phenomenally well. But remember, that will last only for a short period of time, only a few months. So within those few months, take that risk, go all out, you're going to do well. On the other hand, if, I had a very interesting case of somebody, जो आए थे मुझे बोल रहे थे, what will happen? And I said, the quality is going to be good and bad, and the quantity is going to be good. He says, I don't understand what you mean. I said, you're going to inherit money.
Wow.
The quality is going to be good because you're going to inherit a lot. So he said, if I'm inheriting, why do you say the quality is bad? I said, inheriting is good, but it is at the cost of something, right? It wasn't
A
at the
loss.
cost, it was the cost of a loss. He lost a
Right.
family member that was quality,
Hmm.
but in turn, he gained a lot of money. Now, this did not make him happy. It actually
Of
made him
course.
sad. And what he
Yeah.
said is, I don't want to inherit anything, but it is what it is, right? On the other hand, there are people who come here, they have lawsuits. They win the lawsuit, and jab lawsuit jeette hain, that is also like inheriting something,
Right.
but not at a loss, at a gain.
Yes.
That becomes a positive quality and a positive quantity. So you understand the difference. Quality and quantity are two separate things, but yet they are related to each other because they give you the magnitude of how much you will grow, how fast you will grow, and what will happen to you in life. Okay.
Definitely.
ये
डॉक्टर साकिब, मैं आपको टाइम का हेड्स अप देना चाहती हूँ. We've got 5 more minutes and I think एक आखिरी क्वेश्चन भी हमें कवर करना है. So just in case, वैसे मैं हैंड आउट करना चाहती हूँ आपके ऑफिस नंबर्स 408-639-5300 408-639-5300. एक प्राइवेट रीडिंग के लिए, एक प्राइवेट कंसल्टेशन के लिए visit his website, which is www.saketbhatia.com. And आज हम बात कर रहे हैं about predictions and how important it is in astrology. And बस एक आखिरी टॉपिक रह जाता है जिसे हमने कवर करना है. Comparison of a person working with someone starting their own venture.
every time people come, I want to start my own business. I'm not happy where I'm working. Then what are you doing about it? What step have you taken? I ask them. In the world, there are 8 billion people. All 8 billion cannot start businesses. अगर सब business कर लें तो कोई काम ही नहीं करेगा किसी के लिए. Sometimes there are people who do better working for others. Working for others doesn't mean taking directions from them. It means having your own stability, having your peace of mind. Not everybody is an entrepreneur. It is not easy to run your own business. It's actually very hard. It takes a lot. It takes mental toll on you. It looks exciting. Oh, हम business start करेंगे. We are going to be the boss. But challenges बहुत आती हैं. So are you ready to take those challenges? In order to do that, you come to an astrologer. We first look at your chart and we see how well is your sun placed. What is sun? Your independence, your ability to grow, your ability to lead, your ability to take a stand at something different. Then we look at Mercury. How business-minded are you? Can you make the right decisions at the right time? Then we look at your Saturn. How hard can you work? Uma, there is nobody who has started a business the easy way. It never happens.
Right.
जब हो जाता है, जब business successful होता है, then people say, oh, see, he had it so easy. But ask that person what he's gone through. It was never easy for him. It's been very difficult for them. मुश्किल होता है. So you have to learn to appreciate those people who've started businesses, who've done stuff. That brings me back to my point. You must have that in your chart to start a business. Not everybody has it. Many do, but not everybody. If you have it, use it to your advantage. Capitalize it. Identify it. And then once the astrologer can tell you, what is it you lack? Do you lack confidence? Do you lack drive? You lack the ability to choose partners? Sometimes you start with 5 other friends, they all cheat you and move on. Astrology can tell you, wo kab hoga, kaise hoga. So all I'm trying to say is, agar aapko life achhi bitani hai, you go to a doctor every year for a checkup. The doctor tells you, I think your cholesterol is high. Take care. Start exercising, or I'm going to put you on medication. Same with an astrologer. We tell you, life kahan hai, kahan ja rahi hai, and how you can gain from it. Prediction is very important. It is actually one of the most important aspects of astrology. So that's what I wanted to cover today. Call us if you need help. We are here to help you improve your life. We're here to help you be more successful. Yes.
1 more minute left, and at this point, I'd like to hand out Dr. Saket's office number, which is 408-639-5300. That's 408-639-5300. Once again, the number is 408-639-5300. और फिर उनकी वेबसाइट भी है www.saketbhatia.com. That is SAKETBHATIA.com. बहुत सिंपल है ये वेबसाइट, बहुत ज़्यादा जानकारी है यहाँ पर, कंसल्टेशन कैसे बुक करना है, क्या करना है. एंड ऑल्सो रिमेंबर दैट ऑफिस नंबर विच इज़ 408-639-5300. एंड डोंट फॉरगेट, हर ट्यूसडे 3 बजे से लेकर 4 बजे तक डॉक्टर साकेत लाइव होते हैं हमारे स्टूडियोज में, रेडियो जिंदगी 96.7 FM, 5:40 AM and 13:10 AM पर. Thank you so much for your time and all that knowledge. हर वीक आप अटेम्प्ट करते हो एक नया टॉपिक लेकर आने के लिए और हमारे ऑडियंस को एजुकेट करने के लिए. You know, along with that, you answer their questions and you know, थोड़ा बहुत रीडिंग उनकी चार्ट की जितना वो जानना चाहते हैं वो बताते हो. That is so very generous and kind of you, Dr. Saket. Always a pleasure to do your show.
Thank you so much. I'll see you next week. All the
Thank you
listeners,
so
have a good
much.
one. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.